Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Bellevue Bruins Sports Network. Coming to you live from John Stella Field in Brown Park in Omaha, Nebraska, we bring you the second day of doubleheader action in the North Star Athletic Association between the Bellevue University Bruins and the Valley City State University Vikings. Welcome back to more baseball, everybody. Mick Krupski back behind the microphone. Chris Williamson will not be with us today. He's on duty as an officer of the Fremont Police Department, so we may have a visitor later on today. We'll keep you in suspense until we get there. All right, the Bellevue Bruins coming into today's action, 19-4 overall, 6-0 in the North Star Conference, the number 9 rated team in the NSAA Coaches Baseball Poll. Valley City State comes into the action at 5-17, 1-5 in the conference after dropping the doubleheader yesterday to the Bruins by scores of 5-4 in 10 innings in game number 1, and then 11-2 in the nightcap. The two head coaches meeting with the umpire and crew, Bellevue head coach Dwayne Monlux and Valley City head coach Casey Olney, going over the ground rules once again at John Stella Field. Let's get a quick look at the starting lineups for both teams as we get ready for first pitch. Once again, it'll be the Bruins as the visiting team and the Vikings as the home team, as this series was scheduled to originally be played in Valley City, North Dakota. Leading off for the Bellevue Bruins, center fielder Kanta Kobayashi. Batting second, the shortstop Brendan Luther. Batting third, the left fielder Jake Lacey. The cleanup hitter for the Bruins is the designated hitter today, Logan Grant. Batting fifth and playing right field is Anthony Lind. Batting sixth, the third baseman Nick Grade. Batting seventh and catching Trad Richardson. Batting eighth and playing first base will be Mathieu Sirois. And batting ninth, the second baseman, Drew Staley. On the mound for the Bruins today in game number 1, Easton Brinton, the right-hander. We'll talk more about his stat line in just a little bit. For the home team, the Valley City State Vikings, they'll be leading off with shortstop Shane Nixon. Batting second, the designated hitter, Jaden Babiuk. Batting third, the second baseman, Ryan Reynolds. The cleanup hitter is the first baseman, Drew Nixon. Batting fifth and playing center field, Dustin Mertz. Batting sixth, the right fielder, Jay Gruel. Batting seventh in left field, Christian Ramirez. Batting eighth and catching is Caden Rosdeba. And batting ninth, the third baseman, Torrey Nelson. On the mound for the Vikings in game number 1, right-hander Brooks Brown. Those are the 18 players plus 2 pitchers that'll be in action in game number 1 here today. This field was used earlier today by Omaha South High School. That has led to this late afternoon start. Doubleheader action, 9 innings in game number 1, 7 innings in game number 2 will be underway in just a moment. Let's take a look at some information about Valley City State's starting pitcher today. That is Brooks Brown. Brown, the junior, who also plays infield. This will be his 3rd appearance on the year. All 3 of them have been in a starting capacity. 0-1 his overall record in 10 1/3 innings of work, a 6.10 earned run average. In those 10 innings of work, he's allowed 7 earned runs, has walked 6, and struck out 4. Vikings will be wearing their white uniforms with maroon trim. They'll be taking the field here momentarily as the conference with the coaches and umpires has concluded. The shadows from the hill to the west side of the ballpark creeping over the third base side of the field. They'll continue to stretch out over the field as the day progresses. Right now, right field, the right side of the infield as well, will be the sun field. The lights are turned on. We'll be playing baseball well into the evening here. Temperature today in the Omaha area in the mid-50s, so a nice day, mostly sunny. Light wind, so similar playing conditions to what we saw yesterday, but as the day goes on, we're expected to drop into the lower 40s by the time we get to the final pitch of game number 2. So not terrible playing conditions, what you would expect for schools playing here in the upper Midwest. Let's look at the Vikings' defensive alignment across the infield. Drew Nixon is at first base. Ryan Reynolds is at second. Shane Nixon is the shortstop. Torrey Nelson is at third. Across the outfield, Christian Ramirez is in left. Dustin Mertz is in center, and Jay Gruel is in right. The battery for the Vikings behind the dish is Caden Rosdeba, And on the mound, as we said, right-hander Brooks Brown, 0-1 his record on the year. The Bellevue Bruins will be wearing their quote-unquote road grays today, the gray uniforms with the purple lettering and trim. This is the Bruins' 24th game of the year, the 23rd game for Valley City. I looked at some webcams from Valley City, North Dakota. There's still about a foot of snow on the ground up there, so not exactly great conditions for playing baseball, hence the move to John Stella Field at Brown Park. And with the Bruins' upcoming home series, right now the Bruins will only have one road series on the schedule. That will be coming up in mid-April as they travel to Aberdeen, South Dakota to take on Presentation. All the Bruins' other series this year will be right here, or a couple of games will be played at Bellevue West High School as well. Next weekend, in fact, one of the doubleheaders will be played there as Brown Park is not available on that day. Kanta Kobayashi strides to the plate for the Bruins. A left-handed hitter, center fielder, awaits the first pitch from Brooks Brown. Takes the pitch low, ball one. Kanta hitting .341 on the season. Had kind of a off day offensively yesterday. Still played his sterling defense out in center field. Brown delivers off the outside edge, now 2-0. Pitcher in bright sunshine right now. Home plate area covered in shade. As Kobayashi can sit on a 2-0 delivery. Pulls it off the screen in front of the bench, off the ankle of the first base dugout. He'll get some grief from the Bruin bench as he airs on the play, a smile on his face, so somebody must be pretty good with their jibes down in the Bruin dugout. 2-1 the count on Kobayashi. Brown looks in and delivers. That one is inside, 3-1. Valley City has not yet played a home game this year. In fact, they've become frequent travelers to Nebraska. They had an earlier series against Mount Marty. That was played in Lincoln, Nebraska. On the 3-1 pitch, Kobayashi will draw the leadoff walk. Kanta with a good on-base percentage at .450. He's on base now for shortstop Brendan Luther.
Now up to the plate, number 24, shortstop, Brendan.
The Vikings also had a series in Omaha against Briar Cliff at Elkhorn High School. So this is their third trip to Nebraska. They also had a nice long road trip to Tucson, Arizona. The first pitch to Luther is outside. So a rocky start on the first two batters for Brooks Brown. Valley City used quite a few pitchers in yesterday's doubleheader. So head coach Casey Olney hoping to get some innings out of his starter here. The breaking ball cuts inside, now 2-0. Brown, a 5'9" junior from Fargo, North Dakota. Fargo just down the road from Valley City, North Dakota. Down low, so 3-0. 8 pitches thrown thus far by Brooks Brown. 7 of them have been balls. Brown looking a little frustrated. He's missed with a couple of the pitches. And he'll miss again down low. So the first two guys up for the Bruins reach bases by the walk. Next up for the Bruins, left fielder Jake Lacey. Lacey hitting .369 for the Bruins. His on-base percentage at .431. Breaking ball in the zone for a called strike one. So Brooks Brown throws something a little bit different to start Lacey as he was taking all the way after the first two walks. Lacey looking for a pitch to drive. Bruin base runners get their leads off of first and second. That one's popped up to shallow right field. Right fielder Jay Gruel towards the line. He will make the catch. Kanta Kobayashi tags at second. And no throw to third as it's cut off. So the Bruins advance Kobayashi to third. Luther has to say at first on the fly ball out. Here's the Bruins cleanup hitter, designated hitter, Logan Grant. Grant caught most of the doubleheader yesterday. He'll get a DH opportunity today to rest his knees a little bit. Trad Richardson will be behind the plate for the Bruins. Vikings hoping to turn a double play up the middle. Runners in a little, fielders in a little tighter at the corners. First pitch to Grant, ball one. Working from the stretch, first base side of the rubber. Brooks comes set and delivers a breaking ball. Strike two called. So far, curveball has been the better of the offerings from Brooks Brown. Grant, 349 hitter for the Bruins. On the outside, Black called strike two. Now 1-2 the count. Bellevue on a 10-game winning streak. Is that right? 12-game winning streak. I forgot to add the two from yesterday. I told you I had difficulty once I ran out of fingers. Throw over to first base, sends Luther back. 12-game winning streak. That includes their final 5 games on the Florida trip and their first 7 games back at home. In each of those victories, the Bruins offense, 10 or more base hits. Next pitch, low and away on a changeup. 2-2 the count. Luther kind of had a bluff move over there with his lead off of first. Let's see if he's on the move here. Second baseman Ryle Reynolds pulled way into the hole. Swung on and missed as Grant chased a high fastball. Comes up empty for the second out of the inning. Next up for the Bruins, the 5-hole hitter, right fielder Anthony Lind. Anthony hitting an even 400 on the season.
468 during the winning streak.
468 his average during the winning streak. He had over 500 in the 7 games down in Florida. Fouls it back to the net. Just underneath a little bit on that breaking ball sweeping over the outer half of the plate. We talked yesterday that one of the concerns for the Bruins offense has been the number of left on base. That was a big issue in game number 1. The Bruins more effective in game number 2. So let's see what the Bruins do here with 2 out, 2 on. Throw over the first base. Luther back easily. Luther, 1 stolen base, 1 caught stealing on the season. Now it's the shortstop, Shane Nixon, playing Lind to pull. Hit in the air to center field. Mertz, the center fielder, going back to the warning track, reaching for the fence, and reaches up there at the base of the fence for the catch to retire the side. So Anthony Lind gave it a ride, but just a couple of feet short of being a 3-run home run for the Bruins in the top of the first. No runs on no hits. There were no errors and 2 men left on base. Bruins failed to score in their half of the first. The Valley City Vikings coming to bat. Let's set the defense for the Bruins in this first inning of play across the infield. A little bit different look than what we saw yesterday, but Hugh Sirois will be at first base. Second baseman, Drew Staley. The shortstop is Brendan Luther, and the third baseman is Nick Grade. Across the outfield, Jake Lacey in left, Kanta Kobayashi in center, and the right fielder is Anthony Lind. The battery for the Bruins this afternoon, Trad Richardson behind the plate, and on the mound is right-hander Easton Brinton. Brinton, a junior. This is his 7th game of the season. Excuse me, his 8th game now. 7 of them have been starts. A 2-win, 1-loss record in 27 1/3 innings of work. 4.28 is his earned run average. In his 27 innings of work, he's allowed 13 earned runs, has walked 13, and struck out 24. So about a 1.5 strikeout to walk ratio for the big right-hander out of Murray, Utah.
Rated 1.5. 3-1 strikeout to walk in his last 3 appearances.
His control has been a little bit better over the last 3 appearances, a 3-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio in his last 3 appearances. Thanks again to Bill Mullins, Bellevue Sports Information guy, sitting next to me and enjoying another ball game here at John Stella Field at Brown Park. First to face Easton Britton will be the shortstop, Shane Nixon. Shane Nixon and Drew Nixon, brothers, in the Valley City lineup out of Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Both these squads feature quite a few Canadian members looking for a warmer place to play baseball in the springtime. Here's the first pitch from Easton Britton, a fastball just off the outside edge. Ball 1 call. Shane Nixon hitting .292 on the year. Swings and misses at a breaking ball. Nice change of speed and movement on that from Britton. Second conference series this weekend for both schools. Again, a swing and a miss on a ball with some movement breaking away from the right-handed batter. The Bruins swept Viterbo last weekend. Valley City State went 1-3 against Dickinson State. That series played in Tucson, Arizona. Trying to shoot the outside corner, just missed, now 2-2. Trent Richardson getting the start behind the dish. Sets up on the inner half. That's where Easton goes. Hit in the air to left field. Lacey giving chase. He's on the warning track. Now Kanta Kobayashi will call him off. And it's the center fielder who will make the catch on a deep fly ball for the first out of the game. Nixon with a pretty quick swing on that pitch on the inside part of the plate. Gave it a ride, but into the glove of Kobayashi. Next up, designated hitter Jaden Babiuk. Babiuk was the Valley City catcher for most of the action yesterday. Left-handed batter facing the right-hander Easton Britton. Skewed off the end of the bat into left field. Lacey will call that one. And a couple of fly balls to outfielders to start the day for the Vikings bats. Next up, second baseman Ryan Reynolds. Reynolds, a senior, 169 his average on the season. Had a couple of doubles, though, yesterday in game number 2. That prompts his move up in the batting order to the 3 spot today. Fastball, nice location, inner half, strike 1 called. As a team, the Vikings are hitting .254 on the year. The Bruins hitting .328. Breaking ball misses. Britton shakes off the first signal from Richardson. And delivers out. One hopper to the glove of Nick Gray. Pops out, picks it up barehanded, and throws it across the diamond. 1-2-3, bottom of the first inning. After 1 inning of play, we're scoreless. Keep it right here on the Bellevue Bruin Baseball Network for doubleheader action all day today. 9-inning game number 1 and a 7-inning game number 2. All right, if you were with us yesterday, I'd like to remind you once again, we invite you to be part of our broadcast. You can send along a text message greeting. We had a nice mix yesterday of Bellevue fans and Valley City fans. That text message number is 402-515-7654. You're right. Just got a text. The team logos are switched on the plot. Well, there's nothing we can do about that now once it's begun. So you'll just have to bear with us. And thanks for pointing it out. We'll get it maybe before next game. Nope, we're not. We're not going to mess with it. We've had so many difficulties with our video stream this year. We're just going to have to go with the way it is. But thank you to whoever from the 616 area code. Oh, here we go. Saturday afternoon, Sakamoto Hubba Hubbas, go Bruins. That's who it's from. Glad you're keeping us tuned in on the Bellevue Bruins Sports Network. Yesterday we had a hubba battle between the Richardsons and the Sakamotos, and I think there were a couple of other families that joined in as well. So happy Saturday hubbas coming your way. Bellevue with a couple of runners on in the first inning but did not score. It'll be Nick Grade, Trad Richardson, and Mathieu Sirois, the first three scheduled hitters for the Bruins.
Leading off the inning for the Bruins. Playing third, number 31.
Here's third baseman Nick Grade. Grade 362. His batting average, so some hefty averages by the Bruin lineup. Breaking ball from Brooks Brown, sweeps out of the zone, ball one. Fastball on the outer half, evens the count at 1-1. We mentioned the runners left on base. Bill has figured out that the Bruins have left just under 10 runners on base per 9 innings played. 9.98. Good job with the math. Here's the 2-1 pitch from Brown. Chopped a little roller up the first base side. That's going to stay fair. The throw to first is just in time. A nice job by the catcher, Caden Rosnaba, to step out from behind the plate.
The catcher, number 13.
Kind of an, swinging bunt on that. So 2-3 on the putout for the first out of the inning. Next up, catcher, Trad Richardson. Richardson, 348, his average on the year. Breaking ball, clips the outside edge, gets the strike call. Trad had a string of 3 games with home runs in each of the 3. Didn't go yard yesterday at all. That streak came to an end, but now that pitch low, 1-1 to count. 4 home runs in total on the year. Nick Gray leads the team with 6. Jake Lacey with 5. Swing and a miss. Kind of a pause in the windup that time by Brooks Brown, trying to fool the rhythm of the batter. Now 1-2 the count. Vikings starter working from the windup. Tries to hit the outside corner, just misses. 2-2. Home plate umpire today has got a kind of a tight zone so far from what we've seen, but a consistent one both ways. Fouled out of play. I'm sure Brooks Brown and Easton Brenton would prefer it to be an inch or 2 wider, but 17 inches wide is home plate. Got a little black edge on either side too. Kind of that's the margin of error for the home plate umpire. And off the wrist of Richardson, he will earn the trip to first base. That pitch kind of came in on him. He didn't flinch, and so he'll be the first base runner of this game. Third base runner of this inning, third base runner of the game, as Takumi Maeno comes on as the courtesy runner for the catcher. Takumi did most of the courtesy running duties yesterday as well. Meanwhile, back home plate, here's first baseman Mathieu Sirois. Throw to first, Maeno back on the dive.
Number 25. Miami.
Sirois hitting .213, gives that one a ride, and it is long gone. Mathieu Sirois with a 2-run home run to center field. Viking center fielder Dustin Mertz took a couple of steps that way and then realized it was long gone. Well, 380 to center field. That one went 40 feet maybe.
I'm going to try to get a measurement on it.
All right, Bill's going to try to see if he can get a measurement on that one, but a huge 2-run blast. And Mathieu Sirois jolts the Bruins to a 2-0 lead. For Sirois, that's his 3rd home run of the season. 9 runs batted in. As the next batter, Drew Staley takes a called strike 1.
Second baseman, number 4, Drew Staley.
We saw, I think it was 6 home runs hit out of the park yesterday in the doubleheader, but I think that one's got the record for distance by quite a bit. No wind at all. The flag on the flagpole hanging limp there. That's about where Mathieu's home run went. Outside. 2-1 on Staley. Drew hitting .341. He's had a hot bat over the last couple of weeks. Swings and misses at that breaking ball.
I know it's just up there front for sure.
Stay tuned.
Oh, cool. Using Google Maps to try to figure out the distance on Sirois' home run. Wonders of modern technology as Staley awaits the next pitch. Another breaking ball. That one's popped up into shallow center field. Dustin Mertz has a bead on it, and he'll make the catch for the second out of the inning. Back to the top of the order for the Bruins. Here's Kanta Kobayashi. Kanta has recorded a hit in every game but one that he's played this year. That was in game number 1 versus Valley City yesterday. All right, Bill has the estimate, approximately 459 feet on that home run blast by Mathieu Sirois.
That's a tank.
Just a crush home run. Kobayashi fouls the next pitch. Brendan Luther in the on-deck circle tries to corral that one. Opposite field swinging. That one's out of play over near the Valley City State bullpen. Parker McMahon got the win yesterday on the mound for the Bruins in relief of Alex Salicio. Blake Crippen went the distance in the 7-inning second game for the victory, so the Bruins only used 3 pitchers. Valley City used 4 in the second game and 3 in the first. Here's the next pitch from Brown. Kobayashi again fouls it against the screen, opposite way. Got several Adam balls yesterday, hard hit line drives, but right at one of the Viking players. Hit on the ground to second, fielded there, and the throw over to first retires the side. Second baseman Ryan Reynolds on the play. Bellevue Bruins pick up 2 runs on 1 hit. The big blast by Mathieu Sirois. No errors and nobody left on base after an inning and a half. The Bellevue Bruins 2. The Valley City State Vikings nothing. To give you a quick update in North Star Athletic Association baseball conference standings, right now it is Dakota State with a sweep of Mayville State. Dakota State 8-0 on the season. The Bellevue Bruins with the doubleheader sweep yesterday at 6-0, technically in a tie for first place. Mayville State drops to 4-4. Dickinson State currently at 3-2. Waldorf at 2-4. Valley City State at 1-5. Viterbo at 1-4. And Presentation at 0-6. That includes completed games through today. Easton Britton back to the mound. I find it ironic that Easton has the name of a first name of a bat company as a pitcher. As ironic as Johnny Bench, a guy who's a star catcher. He didn't spend a whole lot of time on the bench. That's our baseball jokes of the day thus far. Here we go with the bottom of the second inning for Valley City. First baseman, Drew Nixon. Britton delivers. That one's hit off the edge of the bat. Up the left field side. Eric Grade gives chase. Runs out of room. Did I say Eric Grade? Maybe Nick's got a brother Eric who's filling. No, I'm just sorry, Nick. I do not know where Eric came from. 0-1 the count. Down low, 1-1. The shadows creeping over the field now, covering up home plate and the pitcher's mound. Everything from the shortstop position out toward left field. Swing and a miss. Chase to one at the top of the zone or maybe just above. Looking at the right side of the Bruins defense, Anthony Lynn with sunglasses on. First baseman Mathieu Sirois following suit. Lined hard but foul up the third base line. Casey Olney, the head coach for Valley City State in his 18th year. Cal Fogner, Colton Berg, and Will Magnuson, his three assistant coaches. Nixon checks his swing. They'll appeal to first. The base umpire agrees with his home plate counterpart. Count goes to 2-2 on Drew Nixon. That pitch upstairs, count goes full. Drew looks to be a couple of inches taller than Shane. I don't know, maybe it's just an optical illusion. Here's the payoff pitch. Fouled out of play right side. Third game of this four-game set between the Vikings and Bruins. In the preseason North Star Athletic Association coaches poll, the Bruins predicted to be the champions of the league once again, collecting all 8 of the first place votes. Payoff pitch just a little bit high, so Drew Nixon becomes the first base runner for Valley City as he draws the full count walk. Valley City State predicted to finish in 6th place in the 8-team conference. Next batter, center fielder Dustin Mertz. Mertz hitting .293. First pitch clips the outside corner. Strike one called. Jaden Babiuk, the leading hitter for the Vikings. .364 is his average. Throw over to first base. Babiuk had 2 hits in the first game yesterday, 1 in the second to help his average. That one's fouled back by Mertz. Mertz came on in relief in game number 1 yesterday for the Vikings. Bruins able to win that game 5-4 in 10 innings. Bruins again continuing their double-digit hit streak. 11 hits in game number 1, 13 hits in game number 2. That pitch inside. 1-2 the count on the Vikings center fielder. Britton working from the first base side of the rubber. Upstairs, throw behind. Richardson to Sirois. Defensively for the Bruin, but Nixon gets back in time. 2-2 the count. Hit in the air to left field. Calling for it, now settling underneath it. Jake Lacey makes the catch. And there's 1 on, 1 out in the second inning. Next up in the order for the Vikings, right fielder Jay Gruel. Gruel hitting .281. Played right field in game number 1 yesterday. Drew Nixon was out there in game 2. Lined right off of Britton, may have gone off his shoulder out into center field. So a turnaround line drive off the bat of Jay Gruel. That's the first hit of the game for Valley City. Looks like Britton's going to be okay. Just kind of a glancing blow off of his throwing arm shoulder. So the Vikings have a threat in the bottom of the second inning. Nixon at second, Gruel at first. The batter, left fielder, Christian Ramirez. Ramirez hitting .281. Britton comes set, looks the runner back to second base, looks a second time. Nice breaking ball, swing and a miss. Swing and a miss again as that pitch bit downward. Most likely a changeup from Britton. Now 0-2 the count on Ramirez. Swing and a miss once again as Ramirez goes down for the second out of the inning. First strikeout of the game for Easton Britton. And the Vikings will turn to the catcher, Caden Rosdeba. Rosdeba, 182 his batting average on the year. Only 11 at-bats to this point, getting the start behind the dish today. Fastball, ball one. The lights have been on since the start of the game. Don't really need them too much now, but as the games progress, definitely will come to the fore. Again, the double look on the runner back to second. Swing and a miss on the high fastball. That one's hit hard down the left field line, into the corner. One hops the fence. Nixon around third. He will score. Trailing runner will go to second. And an RBI double for Caden Rosdeba gets the Valley City Vikings on the board.
Now up to the third baseman, 5.
Courtesy runner coming into the game for Valley City. That is number 10, Zach Veneman. Veneman did a lot of courtesy running yesterday as well. So the Vikings still with the threat. And the batter, third baseman, Torrey Nelson. Blocked up nicely by Richardson, moving to his right on that pitch in the dirt. Or technically the pitch into the field turf. 1-0 the count on the 9-hole hitter, Torrey Nelson. Way wide, now 2-0. There's an open base at first, but you sure don't want to walk the 9-hole guy to get to the top of the order. So Britton's going to try to bear down here. Fouled out of play. Good pop on the fastball from the Bruin right-hander. For Caden Rosdeba on that hit, his second run batted in of the season. Britton comes set at the belt and delivers a 2-1 pitch. Comebacker, this time he knocks it down with his glove, picks it up with his bare hand, and throws a strike over to Sirois at first base, and the side is retired. 1 run on 2 hits. There were no errors and 2 left on base. After 2 complete innings of play, the Bruins 2 and the Vikings 1. Keep it right here all afternoon and evening long for Bellevue and Valley City State baseball. All right, let's check the queue. Looks like we've got those couple covered already. If you would like to be part of our broadcast today, that text message number 402-515-7654. Pretzels, stuffed pretzels, yum. Buffalo blue cheese baked pretzel combos. Getting to be close to supper time here in the great Midwest. Again, that number 402-515-7654. Mick Krupski doing the play-by-play and color commentary today. 2-1. Bellevue will be at the 2-3-4 spot of the order in this top of the third. Again, this series played here, but Valley City State the home team. Brendan Luther, the shortstop, walked his first time up, was stranded in the top of the first inning.
Oh, it's so much nicer up here. Oh, yeah.
First pitch from Brooks Brown, low, ball one, a one-hopper to the plate. Brooks working with catcher Caden Rosdeba to start today's game. That pitch in the zone, 1-1 the count on the Bruins shortstop. First year as a Bellevue Bruin for Brendan Luther. Misses low and away, 2-1. Luther, a unique batting stance as he awaits the pitch. Holds the bat barrel down, then brings it to an upward position. Keeps his hands soft. Takes that pitch. Now 3-1. Hitters count here for Luther. Looking for a pitch to drive. On the inside corner, a good take, as it was not a good hitter's pitch. As the count goes full. Bruins looking to add to their totals. No runs in the first, 2 in the second. No runs in the first, 1 run in the second for the Vikings. Again, that kind of delay by the pitcher Brooks Brown. We've seen him do that a couple of times, trying to disrupt the tempo of the batters. Count remains full. The Bellevue Bruins, the number 9 rated team in the NAIA in the coaches poll, the most recent one. Again, the pause, and that pitch stays upstairs. So Brendan Luther has been up twice and has walked twice today. He'll trot down to first base as Luke Lacey heads to the plate. Lacey flew out to right his first time up. Bellevue started the season, the preseason poll in the number 5 spot, then dropped to number 14 in the first week. Now up to 9 in this week on the 12-game winning streak. That one's hit down the right field line. It's tailing foul. That would have been extra bases had it stayed fair, but it just kept tailing. Tracked down out there by right fielder Jay Gruel. And let me correct myself, Gruel was the designated hitter yesterday, not the right fielder. One the count. Temperature in the mid-50s as we start today's doubleheader. Very little wind, sunshiny skies. That one's lined into center field for a base hit as it drops in front of Dustin Mertz. Luther couldn't go at the crack of the bat to make sure it dropped, so a walk and a single start the inning for the Bruins. And the batter will be the designated hitter, Logan Grant. Brooks comes set, bunt up the third base line, right on the edge between the brown and the green. The throw to first is offline. But the speed of Grant beat it out anyway, so a base hit, an infield single for Grant. The bases are full of Bruins as Luther is at third, Lacey is at second, Grant is at first. He won't get a courtesy runner today. He's not the catcher in this game as the DH. He has to stay in and run for himself. The batter now, right fielder Anthony Lind. Let's see how the Vikings play the infield with nobody out. Corner infielders are in a little bit. Middle infielders are about halfway. Lynn's job here, try to get something through to the outfield. Chopper to third. The throw to home is in time on the force play. So on the fielder's choice, Lynn will reach, but Luther retired 5-2. Lacey advancing to second and Lacey advancing to third and Grant to second. Well, the Bruins come up empty that time, but now let's see what Nick Grade will do. Same situation, bases loaded, but now one out. Same defensive alignment for the Vikings. A little chopper up the third base line. Charging as the third baseman. His only play will be at first, and it won't be in time. So Nick Grade didn't hit it real well, but he will get the RBI. Hit it in a good spot as Lacey scores. Grant to third. Lynn to second, and the Bruins with a 3-0 lead. 3-1 lead. So a fortunate location, kind of the old hit it where they ain't sort of a play. The Bruins now have Trad Richardson at the plate. Trad was hit by a pitch his first time up. Blocked up nicely by the catcher, Rosedeba. Bruins looking to open up a larger than their current 2-run lead. Richardson looking for a pitch to drive to the outfield. He gets it done. Line drive to left field. First run across the plate will be Grant. And because he had to wait to make sure it was going to drop, it'll be a 1 RBI single for Trad Richardson. Grant scores. Lynn to third. Grade to second. And Richardson at first. And we'll have courtesy runner Takumi Maeno coming in to run for him. So a merry-go-round on the bases for the Bruins, putting the ball in play. And stepping up, first baseman Mathieu Sirois. Sirois with a mammoth home run his first time up today. Pitch down low, ball one. No action yet in the Valley City bullpen. As I mentioned, they used a lot of pitchers yesterday, so they're going to try to have Brooks Brown cover as many innings as he possibly can today in this game number one. Brown comes set at the letters. A breaking ball. Ball two. A little bit up. Brooks has the pitch he wants. Brooks Brown, swing and a miss. Sirois had a cut, came up empty. Breaking ball. Mathieu went chasing on that one. With that RBI from Trad Richardson, he now has 13 on the season. Nick Grade also picked up an RBI. He has 24. The set, the 2-2 pitch. Swung on and missed. So feast or famine. Feast on the first one, the long home run by Mathieu. The second time, though, the strikeout is the second out of the inning. Still the base was loaded. Now 2 away. The batter, second baseman Drew Staley. Staley awaits the pitch. Flew out to center field his last time up. Another breaking ball. That time it stays low. Ball one. Called strike on the knees, 1-1. Bellevue base runners will be off with the crack of the bat with 2 outs. So a single to the outfield somewhere should fairly easily score 2. Now 2-1. Brooks Brown throwing a lot of pitches in this top of the third inning. This is the 8th batter of the inning he's faced. Popped up on the infield. Third baseman calling for it and making the play. Torrey Nelson comes on with the catch that retires the side. The Bruins pick up 2 runs on 4 hits. There were no errors and 3 men left on base. After 2.5, our score, the Bellevue Bruins 4, the Valley City State Vikings 1. So again, the Bruins left some guys on base. Hopefully that won't come back to hurt them later on in this scheduled 9-inning game. 9-inning game 1, 10-run rule would be in effect after 7 innings, should that happen. And then game number 2, our nightcap, will be 7 innings. Top of the order awaits Easton Britton as he goes back to the mound for his 3rd inning of work. Hello from Thunder Plumber's parents in Chandler, Arizona, looking forward to game 2. All right. We got game 1 to get through first before we look forward to game number 2, but glad you're with us on the Bellevue Bruins Sports Network. Again, 402-515-7654. Thanks to everybody who played along with me yesterday and today again, too.
Number 9, Shane Nixon.
Shane Nixon, the leadoff hitter, will lead things off once again. Now we're in the bottom of the 3rd. Flew out to center field his first time up. On the stretch, toes the rubber on the first base side and delivers. 3-1. 4 runs on 5 hits thus far for the Bruins. On the outside corner for the call strike to make it a full count. On shortstop, Shane Nixon. Foul out of play right side. We'll do that full count pitch once again. Here it comes. And it gets out of the glove of Trad Richardson as Nixon heads down to first base on the walk.
How about number 6, Jaden Bellevue?
And we've got here's sunglasses coming out to second baseman Drew Staley. As it's that point of the afternoon, early evening, where everybody on the right side of the infield and outfield should have sunglasses on their face. At the bat, designated hitter Jaden Babiuk. Off the outside edge, ball 1. I think Kanta Kobayashi in center has sunglasses as well. Swing and a miss. 1-1 to count. Babiuk, as we mentioned, the leading hitter on the year, 364 average for the DH/catcher. Trying to hit that outside corner once again. It stays wide. Fouled out of play, left side. Springtime allergy, frog in my throat. Britton comes set. Swing and a miss. First base is occupied. So Babiuk is out. Whether or not Nixon tries to advance on the pitch in the dirt or not. Nice job by Trad Richardson to block up the pitch. 1 away, 1 on. Here's second baseman Ryan Reynolds. Reynolds, a ground out victim his first time up. Over to Nick Grade. Swings and misses. Ball gets away. Throw down to second base. Not in time. Richardson blocked it up, but it squirted to his left. Shane Nixon with a good read and he'll advance on the wild pitch. Vikings scored 1 run in the last inning, trying to match that or more if they can in the bottom of the third. Fouled out of play.
If he's going on the pitch, he'll get a steal. If it's a read, then it's just a wild pitch.
0-2 the count on Ryan Reynolds. Swing and a miss. First base is unoccupied, so now the throw has to go there. And Richardson to Sirois for the second out of the inning. 2-3 on the play. That is the third strikeout of the game for Easton Brinton, as Shane Nixon continues his trip around the bases on the second wild pitch. It'll be up to Drew Nixon to drive his brother Shane home with 2 outs. The Toronto native awaits the pitch from the Utah native. Slider on the inside half, strike 1 called. Swing and a miss. Nice sweeping breaking ball from Brinton. Okay, is it my imagination, or does the batter, Drew, look taller than his twin, Shane, at third? I know he's 90 feet away, but...
It could be fraternal twins, or it could be the stirrups.
There we go. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Richardson will have to apply the tag, and after giving up a leadoff walk, Easton Brinton comes back with 3 consecutive strikeouts to get out of the inning. No runs on no hits, no errors, 1 man left on base. After 3 complete, the Bellevue Bruins 4 and the Valley City State Vikings 1. All right, we've got our special guest going to be joining us here as we promised. Why don't you, yeah, can you,
Whatever works.
yeah, just adjust those as you need be. Can you do that one-handed? Yeah. All right, good job. All right, joining us now for a couple of innings is Bellevue shortstop, but currently on the injured list, Alec Ackerman. Alec, welcome to the broadcast.
Yeah, thanks for having me. A great day for a doubleheader.
Alec had surgery last week, 2 weeks ago.
Last Wednesday.
Last Wednesday to take care of the injured shoulder, obviously out for the rest of the season this year. You got a couple of at-bats early in the season before you went under the knife.
Yep, I got about 10 games worth. Did all right. We got some big wins against some ranked opponents down in Florida especially. Yeah, it was great.
Because you played less than 10 games, this technically would be considered a redshirt year, so you still would be eligible for another season next year as well. This is your second year in the Bellevue program, correct? You were the starting shortstop last year. You earned a few honors along the way, didn't you? Tell us about some of the laurels.
We had a great team last year, went all the way to the World Series. I was lucky enough to be named a All-American, the second team All-American. We had Elijah Johnson, our ace pitcher last year, was a first-teamer. And then we had Kanta Kobayashi out in center. He was also a second-team All-American. And then Connor Barnett in right field and I both got gold gloves, which is pretty sweet. Yeah, it was great.
Not a bad way to have a season. Bruins will lead it off with Kanta Kobayashi. A big swing down the right field line, has the distance, but it's going to go foul.
Almost.
Just a little bit ahead of that. Just as you mentioned his name, he must have heard you because he put a good charge into that one. What's it like playing with Kanta?
Oh, it's great. That guy out in center field is just so fast, covers so much ground, Makes my job as an infielder a lot easier when a fly ball's kind of in between us because I know he's crashing in, and then I really haven't seen like a plate presence like his before. He just always seems to catch a barrel and just has great at-bats, and kind of our rule of thumb is that if he takes a pitch, it's pretty much a ball, so when he gets called out on third strike, you're like, I don't know.
Good eyes at the plate on that one as well, ahead in the count now 2-1. Tell us a little bit about your pre-Bellevue University college experience.
Okay, yeah, so I was actually born here, so I have a lot of family that still lives in the Omaha area. I got a couple pairs of grandparents. But I grew up in Denver, Colorado, and after high school, I went to a junior college out in the San Francisco Bay Area, College of San Mateo. I went there for 2 years, and then I kept playing at San Jose State University down the road, kind of in that Silicon Valley area. Went there for 2 years, and then There's a nice little base hit to center field for Kata Kobayashi.
Hey, there we go. We'll give you the call here. You're a natural at this. The single for Kanta. Second time he's been on base today in 3 plate appearances. Next up, the guy who's filling that shortstop hole for the Bruins and filling it very well, Brendan Luther.
Yeah, he's doing a great job this year. The man's a beast out of Canada. But, yep, so I went to junior college in San Jose State for a couple years, and then I'm doing my master's program here, so I'll have 3 schools. Next year will be my 7th year of college. Doing it all.
Racking up some bills along the way, so a lot of time in the classroom. But what are you majoring in? What do you hope to do after college?
So I'm getting my degree right now, the master's in business administration, the MBA. I'm not certain what I'm going to do with it yet. I'd like to stay around baseball, potentially, or, you know. Originally, I got my undergrad in criminal justice, and I was thinking about going to law school, thinking I'd be like a sports agent or something along the lines of that. But then with COVID and switching schools and now doing a master's, I'm just going to kind of play it by ear and try to figure it out as I go.
There you go. You can do my job down the road, or Bill's job, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Hit and run on, a little chopper off the foot of Luther. That's going to leave a little black and blue mark on the top of his foot. Came crashing right down off his bat. And as we expected, he'll limp around a little bit, get a little blood flow back. Dwayne Monlex comes down to check on Brendan. Dwayne with kind of a wry smile on his face, so Brendan must have said something to him that he'll be okay. Now the umpire joined in the comedy as well. All right, he'll need another second or two, and then he'll get back into the box. Kana Kobayashi on first, Brendan Luther at the plate. Top of the 4th inning. Off-speed pitch, line to short, one hopper. Turn at second for one over to first base, not in time. Kobayashi kind of in no man's land there, as wasn't sure if it was going to be caught in the air or the short hop. Shane Nixon making the play. Luther reaches on the fielder's choice. 6-4 on the first out of the inning at second base. Here now, left fielder Jake Lacey. Lacey 1 for 2 today, scored a run. Came in on the RBI by Nick Grade.
Yeah, Lacey, another new guy out of Gillette, Wyoming. That's just been a beast for us this year. Had a couple big home runs yesterday.
Runner goes, hit and run on. Swing and a miss, a throw to second, not in time. So a stolen base. And are they going to say interference?
Oh.
And a tough call there for Lacey. The pitch was a breaking ball over the outside half. Hit and run was on, so we tried to put a swing on it, but the home plate umpire is going to say he interfered with the throw of catcher Caden Rosdema. So Lacey will be out on the interference call. That's always one of the toughest calls to make by an umpire. And Luther will go back to first. So it'll be designated hitter Logan Grant stepping in to keep the inning alive for the Bruins. What was your personal highlight from last year's team?
Personally, I think getting that Gold Glove as the best defending shortstop in NAI baseball was pretty sweet. You know, it's kind of like the same trophy that the big leaguers get, and so I have it sitting at home in my room. It's all Gold Glove, and pretty sweet just to be honored with that.
You're not going to let any dust
on
that, are you?
No, it's a great little thing to have.
Brown working from the stretch. Gets through the catcher, through the 5-hole. On the wild pitch, Brendan Luther will advance to second. So a runner in scoring position. Bellevue has had runners in scoring position in each of the first 4 innings now. They've scored 4, but have left 5. From the stretch, here's the pitch again. In the dirt, blocked out by Rosdema. 2-0 the count. Talk a little bit about going to the NAIA World Series last year. Talk about that whole experience of qualifying and then playing there.
No, yeah, so we got to obviously host the regional over at Roddy at Bellevue East. And, yeah, we had a tough regional. You know, I think we kind of had the best bats, I would say, in the country, all lined up kind of together. I know Tabor had a bunch of home runs. Central Methodist, and of course Concordia always hits a bunch of bombs. And so we just kind of slugged our way through that and just played solid baseball. And yeah, that was just great to get to that regional and kind of have that experience, kind of like the Division I's do with the regional and the super regional, just kind of winning that and like, oh sweet, we're going to the World Series. This is kind of surreal. Let's go. And it was great, yeah.
Logan Grant with the walk. That'll bring right fielder Anthony Lynn to the plate. Last year's team defensively, a 980, I think it was, defensive average. I think that was the tops in the NAIA, and you were a big part of that.
Yeah, we set the record fielding percentage. We had the greatest defense in history, you could say. Oh, it was awesome.
Good hitting, good pitching, great defense. All three of those main areas. The first pitch to Lind, a sweeping breaking ball, misses low and away. Dwayne Monlex runs through a series of signs here with 2 on and 2 out. I'm sure that was the get a hit sign for Lind. Anthony, the North Star Athletic Association Player of the Week 2 weeks ago, takes a called strike. Obviously, for the next couple of weeks or couple of months, healing is the main thing on your mind. Do you start doing some strength rebuilding exercises fairly soon, or is that still a ways out?
Yeah, so I go back in next Tuesday for like my checkup or whatever you call it, and so Tyler, our trainer, was kind of saying that he thinks it's just going to be kind of him stretching me out for the first couple weeks until I get to like a physical therapy. But yeah, so I'm going to have a physical therapy program, and I'll find out more about it. But yeah, it's just resting and kind of mentally just locking in for the guys, being the best teammate I can be, and just trying to get back as quick as I can, or not necessarily as quick as I can, but as strong and as healthy as I can, you know.
There you go. We'll take both, huh?
Yeah.
Lynn hit by the pitch. That'll put Bruins at every base. Luther advancing to third, Grant to second, Anthony at first, and third baseman Nick Grade, the reigning North Star Athletic Association Player of the Week, with an opportunity to put more runs on the board for the Bruins. Field turf field here at John Stella Field at Brown Park. Does it matter to you whether you're playing on a field turf field or a natural field?
It doesn't really matter to me personally. I mean, having turf is awesome. Just you get a lot truer hops and stuff.
On the ground to shortstop, a true hop there to Shane Nixon. And on the fielder's choice, the side is retired. So for the second time today, the Bruins leave them loaded. No runs on 1 hit. There were no errors, and 3 men left on base after 3.5. Our score, the Bruins 4 and the Vikings 1. So you were originally a Bellevue guy, so that's how you knew about Bellevue University.
Yeah.
Is that something that you had thought of even when you were a high schooler?
Nah, not really per se. I mean, I went to a junior college, and a lot of kids at junior colleges, they want to go to like an NCAA Division I, D2 kind of school, and I was obviously good enough, and I got that chance. But then after some injuries and COVID kind of happened, Dwayne called me, and they had been recruiting me out of high school a little bit, and out of junior college, I think. But so I kind of just always kept a good rapport with them, kept in contact, you know. And so basically, it was just kind of like the perfect timing. And then I was just like, hey, why not, you know? Like, might as well go finish it up in Omaha, Nebraska. You know, that's where I'm from. I feel comfortable there. It's a nice place. It all kind of worked out.
Great. What goes around comes around sometime. Excuse me. Hey, if you've got any questions that you would like me to ask Alex, 402-515-7654. As we head to the bottom of the 4th inning, it'll be the middle part of the Valley City lineup. Center fielder Dustin Mertz will lead things off. He flew out to left field his first time up today. Easton Britton back on the mound for his 4th inning of work for the Bruins. First pitch, up and away. Hey, one more time, we want to say congratulations to Blake Crippen. He got the win again yesterday, and with his final strikeout of the game, became the 53rd player in Bellevue history to have 100 or more strikeouts in his career. So a great effort by Blake for the win.
No, yeah, that is awesome. It's an honor, man. 100 strikeouts is a lot.
Okay, I'm going to put you on the spot here with this next question.
All right.
Who's your favorite guy to play with on the Bellevue squad? Either the funniest or most talented, or just a great teammate to have on your side?
The first name that honestly comes to mind is Brendan Cascio. He's actually my roommate.
Okay.
And he is done for the year. He broke both of his wrists, or he had a dead bone in his wrist.
Ow.
And he's a veteran presence. He's a Bellevue West grad, just an all-around great dude. And his family owns the Cascio Steakhouse down the road. He's always hosting team dinners. You know, we used to try to do that like once a week. So I'd say probably Brendan Cascio, but I mean, there's a lot. You know, Kate Sakamoto, Matthew Serrois, all those guys. I mean, we have a really close team. It's just a great team to be a part of. We're all best buddies and hang out all the time.
Good team chemistry, camaraderie, very important part of winning, as well as just kind of hanging in all the time that you guys spend together. Anthony Lynn comes in to make the play in right field to retire Dustin Mertz for the first out of the inning. And it's always nice to have a steakhouse. Casio's
That's a hangout. Oh, yeah.
That's a long-time South Omaha stakeout venue. I've been there many times. Here's right fielder Jay Gruel. Oh, that one hits off the umpire's face mask as he looks down to Trad Richardson to tell him, hey, you're supposed to get in front of those, not me. 1-0 the count on Gruel. Got a base hit his first time up today. Popped up, third base side. Grade gives chase near the fence, but he'll run out of room. So it'll be a strike, and Gruel head back to home plate. So I'm assuming kind of your role on the team now for the rest of the season is kind of a pump the guys up, encourage the guys, maybe offer some words or two of wisdom from your experience as well.
Yeah, exactly. You know, kind of being around the program now for my second year and going to the World Series, I'm always here if guys want to talk. You know, I know a lot of times when guys are struggling at the plate or maybe defensively, they don't really want to hear the coaches in their ears all the time. So I kind of recognize that, and I like to approach them in kind of a nonchalant, just kind of talk them up, you know, not necessarily trying to critique them or mechanically change anything, but just kind of say, like, hey, man, like, you're a baller, you know, give them that confidence. That's all they really need.
But Serrois, the first baseman, comes off the bag to field the ground ball. A underhand toss over to Easton Britton. And there are 2 outs in the inning, 3-1 on the putout for the Bruins.
But, yeah, I think it's very important that I kind of stay around the team as far as my mental health and stuff, too. I'm not enrolled in any classes, so I don't have a lot to do. So I try to make it out to practice and especially the games. And I'm pretty sure I'm going to get to travel and stuff. So I'm still going to be a part of the team, just kind of more of a dugout influence instead of actually out there doing anything.
Christian Ramirez, the next batter for Valley City. A fastball on the outside edge called strike 1. You're not going to try to learn to throw left-handed or anything, are you?
That'd be great, man. If I could throw like 95 as a lefty, I'd do it.
There you go. Appeal to first base, and they say, yes, swing on the play. Now an 0-2 count. Yeah, my son had ligament injury to his arm, his throwing arm, when he was a senior in high school, so he couldn't play in the field. But like you, he could still swing the bat.
Yeah.
So while he just kind of sat around on the bench, he learned to throw left-handed and eventually played first base a couple of games left-handed. The strikeout retires the side. A 3-up, 3-down inning in the fourth, just like in the first. Easton Britton, another strong inning on the hill for the Bruins. As we head to the top of the fifth inning, it's Bellevue 4, Valley City 1. Visiting with Alec Ackerman, Bellevue baseball player, first team all-conference, all-American player. If you have any questions that you would like me to pass along to Alec, 402-515-7654. A couple of text messages in the queue. These are for you, Alex. So let's go Vikings, cheering from Manitoba. So another Canadian listener on board today with us. Glad you are here. Hope the snow melts up there and have some good baseball conditions for you as soon as possible. Go Bruins. Keep up the great work, and thank you for the great broadcast. So we'll give Alec some credit for that as well, providing insight to not only his own situation, but for the Bellevue Bruins team as well. Looking ahead, we've got the 7, 8, 9 part of the order. Richardson, Serrois, and Staley up for the Bruins in the fifth inning. Looked like we got a change out there.
20 and left.
20 in left. All right.
44.
Carter Dodd is now in left field for Valley City.
Left fielder goes to right, so Dodd's in for Gruel.
All right. Thank you, Bill. So Dodd, and I already forgot his first name, Carter Dodd in the batting order for Jay Gruel, but Dodd will be in left. And Christian Ramirez goes to right field. So a defensive change for Valley City as the Bruins get ready to hit in the fifth. Catcher Trad Richardson was hit by a pitch his first time up, singled, and got an RBI his second trip. He'll get the adjustment of the batting gloves and the elbow protector. hitch his pants up. Now he's done his preliminaries and he's ready to face Brooks Brown. First pitch swinging, slices foul down the right field side. Hi to Trad's family listening in Frenchtown, Montana. They're frequent texters to our broadcasts. Shadows going almost over the entirety of John Stella Field except for right field area. Richardson takes it low and in. The long look in for the sign from pitcher Brooks Brown to catcher Caden Bozdeba. Popped up, right field. Shallow right field. Now the right fielder coming on. It'll be Ramirez who just switched over there from left. And as usual, you get a new position and the first ball comes right your direction. One away in the top of the fifth inning. Mathieu Sirois, the Bruins' first baseman out of Quebec City, Quebec, steps on in.
Yeah, actually went on Google Earth and mapped his home run from the first inning.
Oh, Bill did the same thing.
Yeah, I was thinking 460.
Okay.
450, 460, maybe.
I got about the same.
Yeah.
That one's hit hard to left field. It's going to one-hop the fence. Mathieu around first base on his way to second. The throw will be cut off. Mathieu Sirois swinging a hot bat today, a 2-run home run and a 1-out double here in the fifth inning.
No, yeah, Mathieu Sirois, man, that guy has big league power. You should see his batting practice. He's putting him over the lights all the time. It's really good to see him heating up because that's a presence in our lineup that he's going to make a really big difference down the road.
Nice to have power and contact as part of an entire team's lineup. Here's Drew Staley, more of a contact type hitter. 0 for 2 today. Had a good afternoon yesterday against these Vikings. Looks at a called strike one.
Yeah, he might have the best stripes on the team.
Old school. That's how we used to wear them back in the 1970s. So I always love it when he comes to bat there. See the high pants leg and the stirrup look there. Breaking ball for a called strike two. Drew out of Salt Lake City. Trying to advance the base runner or drive him home with 1 out. Off the outside edge. Waste pitch there from Brooks Brown. Settles back in. Breaking ball hit in the air to center field. Mertz, the center fielder, tracks over to the right side. He'll make the catch. Sirois on the tag, a strong throw, but it's a little bit offline. Gets away from the third baseman. Sirois trying to score. The throw to home is in time. The tag on the helmet. As Mathieu kind of got tangled up with the home plate umpire down the line trying to make a call at third. So that double play will retire the side. F8 on Staley, and then 8-5. To 1 was the pitcher backing up and made the relay throw. We'll say that.
Might have been. Yeah, that was pretty crazy.
To the catcher. So a lot of action in a short period of time. The Bruins come up empty in the top of the fifth inning. No runs on 1 hit. There were no errors and nobody left on base. You see a lot of crazy things at the old ballpark, but it seems like every season there's something new that comes up. What's the craziest moment that you can think of that happened in your career?
In my career?
Again,
so,
and putting you on the spot.
Well, I was just thinking back to yesterday, that triple play. That's the first one I've seen in a while.
Yeah.
When I was little, though, I remember there was a guy on first and second, nobody out. Someone hits like a deep fly ball to left. The guy's left fielders turn to the field, so they thought he was like going to the wall. So they're running. He lays out, catches it, hits his relay. They get the second out at second and the third out at first. And it was pretty insane to see a guy totally turn his back, Superman layout, and then triple play. It was crazy.
Yeah, triple plays, that rare commodity, but when they happen, they're sure memorable.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's pretty wild to think that it happened yesterday, too. That was the first time I've seen a triple play in a while.
Easton Britton back on the mound for the Bruins. Tell us a little bit about Easton.
Yeah, so Easton, he's been here for, I think, 3 years or 4, and he was here a year or 2 before me, and I know that he was like a number 1 or number 2 starter, and then he went through his arm injury, of course, and then last year he was rehabbing for the most part, came back a little later, and this year, yeah, just really stepping right back into that starting role and just, pounding the zone and just commanding his game. And, he's just a great dude on and off the field, and just really easy to play behind him because he's got a really quick tempo and stuff.
First man he faces is the catcher, Caden Rosdeba. Swings and misses at a high fastball. I know defensive players always like a pitcher that works quickly on the mound. With the speed-up rules now with 20 seconds between pitches, that helps those guys that are human rain delays, forces them to throw the pitch quick or keep infielders on their toes. 0-2 the count on Rosdeba, leading off the bottom of the 5th inning. And he'll go down swinging for the strikeout. Consecutive strikeouts for pitcher Easton Britton. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 strikeouts now for Easton on the game. Next up to bat, third baseman Torrey Nelson. Grounded out at a comebacker to Britton, his first time up. Starts off with the slider, swing and a miss.
Yeah, but Easton and Drew Staley out there actually went to high school together out in Utah. Fun fact of the day.
There we go.
Yeah.
Nice location on that fastball, outer half, called strike. Yeah, more and more you find out people have, like you said, you being originally the Omaha Bellevue native, guys that played together in high school or junior college or played against somebody. Foul ball down the first base side. Sirwa gives chase. He'll run out of room as it lands on the Bellevue bullpen down that way. I think it was Keaton Clark for Valley City and Trad Richardson played against each other back in their Montana days. So that's one of the reasons why we have text messages and things like that, so they can keep me informed and give me little tidbits of information. All right. Looks like nobody wants to ask you any questions here today. Ak, you must get everything answered. Oh, here we go, just as we say that. Thank you, Ak, for the kind words about Sacco.
Oh, yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
That guy's awesome. I mean, I said Sakamoto and Matthew, we're all super close, I didn't want to leave anyone's name out there. Of course, I forgot to, but it's always tough on the spot. But, no, this is a really great team to be a part of, especially with a lot of returners from last year, and all the new guys are all great. So it's just been a lot of fun to hang out with them.
That's always one of those things that putting together a new team, the returning guys and the new guys blending in together, and the coaching staff and then the players seem to have bought into what Bellevue wants to do with their program. Torrey Nelson at the plate, down in the count. Britton on the pitch. Breaking ball just misses a little. Oh, no, they're going to say it just clips the top of the strike zone. Home plate umpire taking a little bit of time to wind up on that strike call. 7th strikeout of the game for Easton. Back to the top of the order for Valley City. Shane Nixon, the shortstop, steps in. Bruins will be playing 6 of their 7 conference series this year here at home, saving those long trips up to Dickinson State and places like that. What do you remember about those long bus rides to places in the conference?
I mean, honestly, I'm a fan of traveling, just getting out of Omaha. Omaha is great, but anytime you can kind of see the country. I mean, you are seeing North Dakota, South Dakota. There's some good parts, and it's usually freezing, but I've always been one that likes that travel, stay in hotels, the whole deal. But, yeah, this year is going to be kind of different. We're going to have a lot of home games. I think some winter storms have kind of been hitting the north from here. Yeah, there's still snow on the ground up in Valley City. The next batter is Jaden Babiak, goes opposite field with that fly ball. It'll get out of play after Shane Nixon reaches first on the hit by pitch. So Nixon's been on 2 of the 3 times he's been up. He's doing the job in that leadoff spot for Valley City. Babiak 0 for 2 thus far today. Way wide on that pitch from Easton. No, but yeah, Brown Park's a great ballpark, hitter friendly. We just got that new batter's eye. So
2/3 of a batter's eye.
2/3, yeah. It was 1/3 last week, so we're getting there slowly but surely.
Next week it'll be complete, huh?
Yeah, maybe.
Little grounder up the first base side. Sirwa comes to get it. It's in foul territory. Tried to make a quick grab and tag, but it was in foul territory.
7 strikeouts by Easton, career high.
7 strikeouts by Easton Britton in today's game. That's a career high. Thank you again, Bill Mullins, for sending on that information.
Let's get 8 right here.
Struck out the side back in the 3rd. Opportunity to do it here again.
Yep.
Blocked up by Richardson. The throw will be down to first. Sirwa fights the sun and makes the catch. So a second 3-strikeout inning for Easton Britton, 8 on the game for the Bruin right-hander. No runs, hits, or errors. One man left on base in the 5th as we head to the 6th. Our score remains Bellevue 4, Valley City 1. Visiting with Bellevue baseball player Alec Ackerman. Out for the rest of this season, but a big part of the Bruin program still. A great teammate to have on the bench, helping his teammates with his experience after a very strong season last year. And we've got a pitching change for Valley City. Number 17 coming into the game. Old eyes, I have to have binoculars, and the guy's only 100 feet away. So number 17, Jace Hansen, comes into the game in relief of Brooks Brown. So Brown goes 5 innings before giving way to Hansen. Hansen, a junior southpaw, he's thrown 7 innings on the year, has allowed 7 hits, 9 runs, 6 of them earned, has walked 5 and struck out 7, a 7.71 earned run average. First appearance of this series for Jace Hansen. So the Bruins will get a look at the left-hander here as he gets his 8 warm-up tosses. He'll be facing the top of the order for the Bellevue Bruins.
Yeah, hopefully we can tack on some runs here and kind of put them away.
10-run rule in effect after 7 innings in the 9-inning contest. Bellevue had any 10-run games yet this year? Looking at the record here.
Let's think.
Against Friends, was that, there was 13-1 for the score there.
That was a scheduled 7.
Oh, okay.
20-2 and 15-3 both were.
All right.
Oh,
So-
yeah, Warner. That Warner game was big for us because they smacked us twice last year.
So a little revenge, part of the 2023 trip. Here's Kanta Kobayashi leading off the top of the 6th inning. Looks at a breaking ball for a called strike 1. Lefty-lefty matchup here. Kanta got a base hit his last time up. Hit to short. Nixon backhands it deep in the hole. Throw across the diamond is just in time on a bang-bang play. Well, we've seen some nice athletic plays from that shortstop spot on both teams. Alec wishing he were out there making those plays too, but he'll get another chance at that spot again next year.
No, yeah, Luther he's a beast, man. So it's fun to watch him. It's fun to watch our defense play.
Here it is, Brendan Luther. Shows bunt, pulls it back, takes it for a ball. As you mentioned earlier, too, Brendan, one of the guys from Canada. There's, 4 or 5 different Canadian players this year on the Bruins squad.
Yeah.
Sliced foul up the left field side.
I think 4 Canadians and 2 Japanese people. It's awesome.
The international Bellevue Bruins.
For real. It's great.
Here's the windup and the pitch. On the outside black for the called strike. I think we mentioned yesterday, we said we congratulated Kanta and Takumi for Japan winning the World Baseball Classic. And I think you were the one or somebody over there was saying, oh, yeah, they won some money on bets with some of the other teammates on that.
Yeah, I think that might have been Takumi.
Little nub shot off the handle of the bat by Luther to stay alive on that pitch. Brendan looking for his first hit today, but he's been on base 3 times. 2 walks and a fielder's choice. Here's the 1-2 offering. A swing and a miss. As that's the first strikeout for Jace Hansen on that lefty-lefty matchup. Only the 3rd strikeout of the game for Bellevue batters. Starting pitcher Brooks Brown had 2. Jace Hansen now with 1. Here's Jake Lacey. Lacey hits it into center field on the line, but Dustin Mertz just a couple of casual strolls to his right, and he'll make the catch to retire the side. A 3-up, 3-down inning in the top of the 6th. The first time that's happened for the Bruins in game number 1 of today's doubleheader. Well, we invite you to stick around, and you can do color commentary here for the rest of the game if you want, or if you've got other responsibilities or things you want to do.
Yeah, I think I was going to go back and just kind of hang out with the guys. But, yeah, thanks for having me. This is great.
I would shake your hands, but we'll just don't want to cause any further injuries there. So, Alec Ackerman visiting with us, and we wish you a successful recovery from surgery and success next year when you're back in the uniform for the Bruins.
Thank you guys for all you do. You guys are great and really appreciative.
All right. Thanks, Alec.
Yep, have a good one.
All right. Great. Thanks for stopping by.
No problem. That's fun.
You've got a future in this in this business here.
It'd be cool if we could do like different guys and every once in a while and just get a little.
We'll get you mic'd up in the dugout like MLB players do sometimes. So work on that, would you, Bill?
I'll look into it.
Back to the hill goes Easton Britton for his 6th inning of work. The starter has gone the distance for the Bruins, only allowed 2 hits. Has struck out 8, including 3 in the last inning. Leading off the bottom of the 6th inning for the Valley City State Vikings, second baseman Ryan Reynolds. Reynolds hitting the 3 spot in this game today. Had a couple of doubles in the second game of this 4-game set yesterday. Yeah, we've got some issue. I guess there's a couple of guys down the Bellevue bullpen that are sitting outside. They want them to get back behind the fence. All right, here we go. Here's the first pitch at the bottom of the 6th. The appeal to first base, they say no swing. Able to check it is Ryan Reynolds. Reynolds 0 for 2 in today's contest. That one's upstairs. In no way related to the famous actor by the same name, as far as we know. Fastball on the outer half, called strike, 2-1. Reynolds, a senior from West Fargo, North Dakota. Valley City State, right near Fargo, North Dakota. Upstairs, 3-1. Don't know the exact mileage. If you do, let me know. In the east central part of the state of North Dakota. On the inside corner, called strike 2. Full count now on Ryan Reynolds leading off this bottom of the 6th inning.
Looks like about an hour.
About an hour's drive, according to Bill's calc. You've been burning up that Google map here today. Foul back to the netting as Reynolds stays alive.
I'm here, might as well make myself useful.
That's why they pay you the big bucks, right? Athletic Director Ed Lahotek, if you're listening in, give this poor man a raise. How's that? Here's the full payoff pitch once again. Reynolds on the swing, couldn't check it. So the strikeout, now 9 strikeouts, a new career high now for Easton Britton. Every strikeout from here becomes a new individual strikeout high for the Bruin right-hander. First baseman Drew Nixon walked and struck out his body of work today. Up and in on that slider, looked like, little movement. Again, tries to hit the inside corner, but just misses a bit. 2-0 the count. Here's where Nixon will try to be very selective, looking for his favorite pitch and his favorite spot. Swings and misses as Britton gets the fastball past him. Another guy with the old school stirrup sock look, taking us back to 1970 whatever. Fouled that one and excuse me, swing, now 1-2. So a battle of 2 guys featuring the old school stirrup look. Easton Britton on the mound. Drew Nixon at the plate. A swing and a miss. Double-digit strikeouts for Easton Britton with that one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of the 8 previous batters have gone down on strikeouts by Easton Britton. The only person who reached was on a hit by pitch to break up that string. Next up, center fielder Dustin Mertz. Mertz hits it well to center field. Kota Kobayashi on the move to his glove hand side. He will catch it just shy of the warning track, and that will retire the side in the bottom of the 6th inning. Mertz had a home run in yesterday's contest, came up about 10 feet short on that one. 6 complete. Bellevue Bruins 4, Valley City State Vikings 1. Thanks once again to Alec Ackerman for joining me. Part of today's broadcast. Good to hear from him, and we appreciate his time and continued good luck to him on his recovery. All right, a couple more texts in the queue. James Williams from Kansas City, Missouri. Teron Williams' father. You all have a great commentary. Go Bruins. Well, thank you, sir. We appreciate you listening in. We may see Teron later in one of these 2 games today. He's done a great job in relief for the Bruins this season. Let's go Bruins from snowy Bozeman, Montana. All 2 feet of it. And they sent along a picture as well. Oh, my goodness. That's something we occasionally get here in January. But hopefully by the time late March comes rolling around, we're pretty much done with snow. We've had April snows. We've even had early May snows. But, man, you got a whole deck full of snow there up in Bozeman. Thanks for joining us today on the Bellevue Bruins Sports Network. One final time, we'll give out the shout-out if you want to send along a text message. Our number is 402-515-7654. Bellevue fans and Valley City fans, thanks for joining us. We invite you to join us by sending along your greetings.
10 strikeouts are the most by a Bruin this year.
10 strikeouts, the most by a Bruin pitcher this year. Thank you once again, Bill, feeding me all kinds of tidbits of information. Here's the first pitch from Jace Hansen to designated hitter Logan Grant. Breaking ball stays inside. Hey, congratulations to the Bellevue University softball team. They're playing weekend series up in Viterbo in La Crosse, Wisconsin. Bellevue won the first game 8-0. That one off the glove of the catcher in their first conference game of the season. Game number 2, the Bruins came back and won that one as well by a score of 7-5. Reese Floro with a 3-for-8 day, including 2 home runs. Breaking ball. Grant had a good hack, but came up empty. Lena McMurtry, 6-for-8. A home run and 5 runs batted in. So congrats to head coach Michaela Semino's squad as they're off to a 2-0 start in conference. One and 2 the count on Grant. Hansen delivers a breaking ball. Comebacker off his glove. That's going to wind up in no man's land, and it'll be an infield single for Logan Grant. Just kind of a deflection by Hansen. No one could get to it. Shortstop Shane Nixon on the charge on the bare hand, but his throw too late. So that's the second hit of the game for Logan Grant. Fresh supply of baseballs brought out as the home team, Valley City State, paying the umpires and providing the game balls. But Bellevue providing the facility here as there's still a lot of snow on the ground in Valley City. Here's Anthony Lind. Lind looking for his first base hit of the afternoon. Shows bunt, pulls it back as that pitch comes up head high. The North Star Athletic Association baseball tournament will be held this year in Dickinson, North Dakota, provided the snow has melted from up there by May. Hit in the air to the right side. Couple of outfielders giving chase. Who's going to take charge? It is the right fielder, Christian Ramirez, will call off his center fielder to make the catch for the first out of the inning. Grant retraces his steps back to first base. Third baseman Nick Grade next up for the Bruins. Grade had an RBI single back in the third inning. Trying to hit the outside corner. Jace Hansen does on that outside black. Strike one call on Grade. Again, Dwayne Monlex runs through a series of signs in that third base coaching box. Batter, base runner, pitcher, catcher, fielders all ready. Breaking ball hit to third. Two hopper there. Out at second for one. Across the diamond on the 5-4-3 double play. Nicely turned by the Vikings from Nelson to Reynolds, and then out over to first to Nixon. So the Bruins, no runs on one hit. There were no errors and nobody left on base in the top of the seventh inning. As we head to the bottom, we're still a 4-1 score, Bruins and the Vikings. In game number one of that softball contest today against Viterbo, Katie Cunningham had a one-hitter and 10 strikeouts. So Bellevue pitchers, they're doing a great job. 10 strikeouts for Bellevue pitchers in both softball and baseball right now as Easton Britton back to the mound. Couple of text messages to get to here. All right, we just had a one Montana snowy picture. Now we've got another one here from from Frenchtown. They must have had a zephyr come through because their snow there is melting pretty quickly. A zephyr, those west winds that help to melt those mountain and plains snows. Go Bruins! The Hudlows are enjoying the broadcast from Minnesota. All right, we've got folks in the Gopher State listening in. We appreciate your time this Saturday evening now. What time is it? We got about 6:45, 6:45. First game of the doubleheader. Easton Britton back to work. First man he'll face is Carter Wood. Nope, excuse me. We've got Jay Gruel has re-entered the game. Left-handed batter. Down in the count, 0-2. Four to 1 our score. 4 runs on 8 hits for Bellevue. 1 run on 2 hits for Valley City. That one's flared foul out of play. Tip of the cap to some of the fans who made the trip down from North Dakota. Got some Valley City fans wearing their college colors, sitting on the third base side. Chopper foul up the first base side. Starting to get a few clouds coming in overhead. After midnight, we're expecting some potential rain and snow showers in the area, but that should happen well after this doubleheader has concluded. Knock on wood. Upstairs, Gruel lays off 1-2. Gruel had a hit back in the second inning. Helped advance the base runner Nixon, who has scored the only run of the game thus far for Valley City. Yesterday, the Bruins won both games of the doubleheader, 5-4 in game number 1 in 10 innings, and then 11-2 in the nightcap. Up and away, full count. Here comes the 100th pitch of the game from Easton Britton, and it's a called strike 3 at the knees. So the 100th pitch is the 11th strikeout of the game for Easton Britton. Here's Christian Ramirez. Ramirez has gone down swinging in each of his 2 previous appearances. In tight, ball 1. So in the last 10 batters that Easton has faced, swing and a miss on a breaking ball, he has struck out 8. Only had No, that can't be right. Sorry. I'll rethink that. I'm not great at math, but even I know that's not right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Of the last 9 batters he has faced, he has struck out 7. There, that makes more sense. That one's bounced past Richardson to the screen. 3-1 now the count on right fielder Christian Ramirez. Pitch just a little bit low. And that's ball 4. Ramirez lost track of the count, so he becomes the base runner. And I think that's just the third walk of the game from Easton Brinton to go along with those 11 strikeouts and 2 hits. Here's the catcher, Caden Rosedeba. Breaking ball a little bit low, ball 1. Couple of guys moving around in the Bellevue pen. Again, as we've said, we can't see directly down to the Bellevue bullpen, but there is some action here as Brinton beyond the 100-pitch mark. Strike called. Slap throw back to first base. Ramirez back in time. Rosedeba, a freshman from Strathclair, Manitoba. Breaking ball, self-defense swing, foul ball. Matusiwa making a nice play off the carom off the fence in front of the Bellevue dugout. Home plate umpire wants a new ball thrown in so he can inspect that one. Again, the base umpire cautioning the Bellevue players to try to stay inside the dugout. Bellevue got a lot of players on the roster. The dugouts aren't small by any stretch of the imagination, but swing and a miss on the fastball. If you've been counting, make that 12 Ks for Brinton. And it's not like he's been fooling a lot of guys. I think all 12 of them have been swinging. Hasn't had a called strike 3 on any of the 12 Ks he's had today. Here's third baseman Torrey Nelson. First to throw back to first. Nelson, another Canadian, a sophomore out of Medicine Hat, Alberta. One of those great names in geography. I believe there's a Medicine Hat, Arizona as well, if I'm not mistaken. I think we drove through there. Popped in the air to center field. Kanta Kobayashi has it tracked. Has it caught, and the side is retired. 2 more strikeouts in the inning for Easton Brinton. No runs on no hits. There were no errors and 1 man left on base. We're through 7 innings of play, 2 more to go. The Bellevue Bruins 4, the Valley City State Vikings 1. Let's give a salute to the Bellevue coaching staff. Bellevue head coach Dwayne Monlex, now in his 13th season. During that Florida trip, Coach Monlex and his crew celebrated the 500th career victory at Bellevue University in those 13 seasons. Along with him for the ride, associate head coach Mitch Schmidt, who's been here for 17 years, pitching coach Sean Malley, who's been here 16, and assistant coach Richie Moore for 13 years. The volunteer assistant coach Austin Alexander's been around for a couple of years as well, and strength and conditioning coach Jake Elward, a former Bellevue baseball player, also on the squad as well. We'll also give a tip of the cap to Tyler Komitcher, the Bellevue athletic trainer, helps keep these guys up and running. Take me home. Little country pop music made famous by John Denver playing over here. Cesar, our public address announcer. You'll hear his voice in the background of our broadcasts.
Now leading off the inning, number 13, Trev Richardson.
There he was right there as he announces Trad Richardson leading off the top of the 8th inning for the Bruins. Cesar, one of the redshirt Bellevue players. Cesar Garcia from Los Lunas, New Mexico. There we go. Tip of the cap to you. 0-1 the count on Richardson. About time, though, to take the sunglasses off, I think. As the field lights starting to take a little bit of an effect here at John Stella Field. Now 0-2 the count on that breaking ball at the top of the zone. Here's the 0-2 delivery. Richardson off the handle of the bat out to the shortstop, Shane Nixon, who will collect it for the first out of the inning. Reminds me, my wife and I went to a wedding last year. She kept her sunglasses on the whole time and wondered why the church was so dark. Anyway, sorry, hon. Next up, first baseman Mathieu Sirois. Had that big home run. His first time up today, 2 RBIs on that. Also had his double his last time up. So a 2-for-3 day for the Bruin first sacker out of Quebec. Off the catcher's glove, another ball, 2-0 the count. And I confirmed with him before the season started. Last year, sometimes we alternated between Mathieu and Matthew, and he said, yeah, he likes Mathieu, so we'll go with that all this season long. Breaking ball weighted nicely, but sliced down the right field side. Right fielder giving chase, but he won't get there. Jay Gruel had a long way to go on that. So it's just a strike as Sirois heads back to home plate. Here's the next pitch from Hansen. Ooh, ball called, 3-1. Hansen delivers on the 3-1. Sirois, hard hit ball in the center field, 2-hopper past the diving second baseman Ryan Reynolds. And Sirois, not too bad of a day, 3 out of 4. He needs a triple to complete the cycle if he gets another at-bat.
Not real easy to do.
Not easy to do at John Stella Field. Yeah, this is definitely not a triples park. You need a big park with deep corners, and that's not what we have here. Takumi Maeno will enter the game as a pinch runner for Sirois. So Takumi will no longer be able to be a courtesy runner as he's officially in the game now. So a 3-run lead for the Bruins. Dwayne Monlux has his 9-hole hitter Drew Staley up with 1 out.
12. Is he done?
Let's see if Takumi might try to steal a bag here.
I do too, but you never know with them. You don't need another guy out.
Strike 1 called on the first pitch to Staley. Takumi has 8 stolen bases on the year. Down low, 1-1 to count. Staley giving Maeno every opportunity to try to get a good jump and steal it, but he's working against a left-hander. Haven't really seen a move from Hansen yet. Again to the plate, pitch fastball upstairs, 2-1. And now more signs from Dwayne Monlux. Let's see maybe if the hit and run might be on here. A little safer play than a straight steal. Second baseman Ryan Reynolds shading very close to the second base bag. A big hole on the right side. Breaking pitch stays up, 3-1. Hansen looks in, gets the signal from Rosdeba. Runner goes, pitch down the zone, taking all the way. The throw to second base is offline. And Takumi Maeno with a stolen base, his 9th of the season. 9th base in 12 tries. Oh, he's in scoring position. Now a 3-2 count. One away. Top of the 8th inning. 4-1 our score. That's our game situation. Up and away. Staley will draw the walk. Runners at first and second. Let's see if Kanta Kobayashi might be called upon to bunt. A good bunter for the Bruins. Either a sacrifice or possibly an attempt for a bunt hit. Third baseman Torrey Nelson playing in on what would be the infield grass. That's the direction that Kanta might like to bunt the ball. Instead, swinging away down the right field line. Nelson giving chase, but he'll run out of room as that one winds up beyond the Valley City bullpen. Nobody throwing in the Valley City bullpen, so it's Jace Hansen's game here. Brooks Brown, the starter, is the pitcher of record on the losing side at this point. He went 5 innings. This now the 4th inning of relief for Hansen. Down low, 1-1 to count. So Dwayne Monlek showing a lot of confidence in Kanta Kobayashi to advance the base runners or maybe knock them home. Kanta with 9 runs batted in on the season. Outside. A single by Sirois and a walk to Staley. They're the 2 base runners on for the Bruins. Actually, Maeno on for Sirois at second base, the pinch runner. Gets a pretty good walking lead there. Way wide off the catcher's glove. Both runners will advance 90 feet on that play. Well, let's see how Valley City will play the infield. They almost have to play the infield in here with just 1 out. They can't afford to let any more runs come in. And now all 4 infielders do move several steps closer to home plate. 3 balls, 1 strike the count on Kobayashi. All-American last year, preseason All-American this year. Takes the pitch upstairs, and the walk will load the bases. So a big opportunity for Brendan Luther to create even more space than the current 3-run lead for the Bruins. Dwayne Monlek's running through signs, but really no sign to give here. Hit away unless he wants to put on a squeeze. Middle infielders, well, not really. Shortstop at double play depth, but the second baseman pulled way to the right side on Luther. Breaking ball, misses way wide. Luther's job here, try to get something to the outfield. Sacrifice fly, base hit, or hey, home run, what the heck. Lays off that one, 2-0. So again, he'll be real selective on his swing zone here as Caden Rosdeba goes out to talk with his pitcher.
He walked twice today and leads the team with 19 on the year.
Luther, the team leader in walks, 19 base on balls on the season. Part of that, his 2 walks, his first 2 times up today. So Rosdeba trying to settle his pitcher down a little bit, get him in the strike zone, but Luther will be waiting on something in his happy zone. Outfield playing pretty much straight away. On the outside black for the called strike 1, 2-1.
Sun's gotten a little bigger as the day's going on, huh?
Pretty much the same situation here. Luther awaits. Breaking ball outside, 3-1. Here's where Brendan wants to focus. Just a little tunnel right over the middle of the plate. Whatever pitch he wants, most likely a fastball. Belt high down the middle of the plate. That's what he's looking for here. Got it, but came up empty. Had a big swing. Full count. Just one away, so the runners will not be in motion. But a payoff pitch. Bruins could take the lead here. Foul back to the screen. We'll do it again. Brendan Luther with a good swing, just a little bit underneath that pitch. Wind has not been a factor all day. Flag just hanging out there on the center field flagpole. The 3-2. Fouled out of play again. Good location on the pitch from Jace Hansen. Good job of fighting it off by Brendan Luther. Little chopper. Hand on Nixon to short. They get the lead out at second, but that's all they will get. So the Bruins score their 5th run of the game as Takumi Miedo comes across. An RBI fielder's choice for Brendan Luther. He becomes a base runner at first. Drew Staley advances to third. Kobayashi retired 6-4 at second base for the second out of the inning. So if Bellevue's going to add more, it's up to Jake Lacey, the left fielder. Lacey 1 for 4 in today's game. And a step off the rubber, disengagement by Jace Hansen. First pitch fastball, eye high. Lacey with a 3-run home run in yesterday's second game helped propel the Bruins to the win. Throw over to first base, runner back in time. Hansen hasn't shown that real good left-handed move to first base. Don't know if he has one and just hasn't shown it yet. Comes home, misses away. 2-0 the count on Lacey. Oh, another opportunity for the Bruins to put more runs on the board. 5-1 lead right now. Hit him in the air to the left side. That'll be playable out there for the left fielder, Carter Dodd. And he'll make the catch to retire the side. The Bruins pick up one more run on one hit. There were no errors and 2 runners left on base. As we head to the bottom of the 8th inning, it's the Bellevue University Bruins 5, the Valley City State University Vikings 1. And it looks like Dwayne Monlick's pulling the lineup card out of his back pocket. He'll talk with the home plate umpire. And we will have a couple of changes for the Bruins. Now on to pitch for the Bellevue Bruins. Number 42, Teron Williams, takes over on the hill. The sophomore out of Belton, Missouri, will take over for starting pitcher Easton Brinton. So 7 full innings for Easton. Only 2 hits, 12 strikeouts, and 3 walks. Teron Williams will take over here. He'll face the top of the order in the bottom of the 8th inning.
Now in the pitch, number 42, Jerome Williams.
Teron, a sparkling 0.00 earned run average in the 7 2/3 innings he has worked. He has 2 saves on the season, no record wins and losses. In those 7+ innings, he's only allowed 3 hits, 1 run not earned, has walked 2, struck out 11. That's a sparkling 12.9 strikeouts per 9-inning ratio. He'll come on to work the 8th inning here, and hopefully the 8th and the 9th to pick up his 3rd save of the year, but let's not get too far ahead. Oh, up 4 runs. Thank you, Bill. So just looking for a continued strong work in relief. He'll be facing Shane Nixon, the shortstop, leading off the bottom of the 8th. Nixon has been on twice via the walk and a hit by pitch.
Who was going to grab the food?
Williams working exclusively from the stretch as well. A nice slider in the heart of the plate for a called strike one. Williams wearing that number 42 that Major League Baseball will no longer wear in honor of Jackie Robinson, breaking the color barrier.
I was told you were told. One of you two was told.
Next pitch, a little bit low and away, 1-1 to count.
He's on the dugout, just chilling.
Williams with that great sweeping arm action comes set at the letters. Popped up in the air. Kanta Kobayashi settles underneath it, just a couple of steps from where he started on the at-bat. He'll catch it for the first out of the inning. 1 up, 1 down in the bottom of the 8th inning. Next up, designated hitter Jaden Babiuk.
Now up number 6, Jaden Bellevue.
Babiuk 0 for 3. Change up on the outside corner, called strike one. Teron with that slow windup, actually working from the stretch, so the slow first half of his motion. Here's the slow, there's the quick. Swing and a miss, 0-2. The 2 hits that Valley City has gotten today have come from the bottom half of the order. Jay Gruel had a hit in the 2nd inning, and Caden Rosedaba had a double in that same frame. His RBI, the only run on the board for Valley City. Where's the 0-2 pitch going to go? Chaser pitch, low and away, 1-2. A little bit more of the lights starting to take effect as we are just after 7 o'clock Central Time. The game a little over 2 hours old. Off the outside edge once again, a little closer to the plate, but good discipline by Babiuk not to chase. Again trying to shoot outside, but missing to a full count. Here's the full count delivery. And misses again. Had him 0-2, but then 4 balls all off the outside corner. And Jaden Babiuk earns the 1-out walk. He'll get a fist bump from his first base coach. As second baseman Ryle Reynolds steps to the plate. Reynolds also 0 for 3, including a couple of strikeouts. His back foot right on the back of the right-handed batter's batting box.
The address.
Sweeping breaking ball for a called strike one.
7.
Williams has gotten ahead of each of the first 3 batters he has faced.
Yep.
Short lead at first from Babiuk. Low and in. Tried another slider, but didn't quite get there.
1-on-1. So whatever that makes.
Yep. Williams looks in, gets the signal from Richardson. Comes set and delivers. Line hard, but foul into the protective screen in front of the third base dugout.
Safe to say he wasn't fooled on that one.
Those protective screens saving the front teeth of many a player over the years on those line drives. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Line hard again, but again foul down the left field line. A little more distance on that. Count remains 1-2 as Babiuk heads back to first. Reynolds at the dish. Williams on the mound. Bruin defenders waiting behind him. Throw over to first. Runner back. Toronto, a little slower paced worker on the mound than was Easton Brinton, the starter. Swing and a miss on the sweeping slider. Back pick to first base. Not in time as Mathieu Serrois goes tumbling across the bag, makes the catch, and then puts on a gymnastic performance as his teammates give him a hard time. So the strikeout, the first of the game for Williams, the 13th of the game for Bellevue pitchers, and the batter will be the first baseman, Drew Nixon.
13 matches the season high for the BU staff.
13 strikeouts matches the season high for the Bellevue staff. Who was that against earlier?
Oklahoma City and Dakota Wesleyan.
All right, 2 times, Dakota Wesleyan and Oklahoma City back in that opening weekend of the year. Ball 1 on the first pitch to Nixon. Thanks again to Bill Mullins, Associate Sports Information Director at Bellevue, providing all these great tidbits of information. Down low, 2-0. Williams listed as 6 foot, 140 pounds. There's a nice fastball located inner half for a strike, 2-1. Kind of slight of frame, but a good whip action on his arm. Hits the ball to home plate, upper 80s. Little change of pace that time with the breaking ball. Runs the count to 2-2. Williams set at the letters. Breaking ball swung on and missed. Back-to-back strikeouts for Teron Williams. And the Vikings of Valley City go down in the 8th inning. No runs on no hits. There were no errors and 1 man left on base. Heading to the final frame, it's the Bellevue Bruins 5, the Valley City State Vikings 1. No tip of the cap to Teron Williams coming in. Fly ball and 2 strikeouts, along with that 1 walk to dispatch the Vikings in the 8th inning. Bellevue 9th inning will feature the middle of the order, Grant, Lind, and Grade for the Bruins. Jace Hansen back to the mound for another inning of relief work. In 3 innings of relief work, Hansen has only allowed 1 run on 2 hits and a couple of walks. Retired the Bruins in order in the 6th and the 7th. Ran into a little difficulty in the 8th. The Bruins trying to scratch out a few more runs if they can in the 9th. One more check of the text message. Oh, we got a couple here. It's everybody in Montana and North Dakota trying to show us snow pictures. Oh, yeah. Thank you guys for the commentary. Very good job from David Thompson, south of Fargo, North Dakota, in Valley City State Parent. So North Dakota, West Fargo. We've got Montana people as well. So, yep, still, yeah, you're not going to be playing baseball up there for a while unless you get some
New pitcher number 12.
real quick work. And just as I say, back out for more work, Jace Hansen, we do have a pitching change for Valley City. A similar body type. On the mound now is Connor Nelson, a freshman from Hitterdal, Minnesota. Connor Nelson. Oh, he becomes the 3rd pitcher of the game. First man he will face is the designated hitter, Logan Grant.
Grant's catching now.
First pitch swinging, popped up into the air toward right center field. 3 players trying to get there. Who's going to take charge? It's the center fielder, Dustin Mertz, will make a sliding catch on his knees for the first out of the inning. One of those balls that was hit as high as it was hit far. Mertz making the play, 1 away. Here's right fielder Anthony Lind. Nelson, the southpaw pitcher, as you can see. First pitch fastball, strike to Anthony Lynn, taking it all the way on that one. Popped up again, this time on the infield. Who's going to take charge here? Four infielders playing for the ball. It'll be the second baseman, Ryle Reynolds, who'll call off his teammate and collect it for the second out of the inning. 2 quick outs in this top of the 9th inning. Connor Nelson, this is his 5th inning of work on the season. His first pitch to Nick Grade is a called strike. 5th appearance on the year, 5 innings of work, a 6.75 earned run average. Good pop on that fastball on the swing and the miss. Down low. Now 1-2 on the Bellevue third baseman. Breaking ball misses up high. A little bit more bite, it had been in the zone, but more lateral than downward arc on that pitch. 2-2 the count on Nick. Nick 1 for 3 today. Stays alive on that foul ball. It caroms back to the home plate area. Go Bruins go. Best recovery to Alec Ackerman. Continue the good work, Mathieu. Spring is not here yet. Since we are waiting for 8 to 10 more inches of snow tonight, we'll add to the feet of snow on the ground as Nick Grade goes down swinging. So a good inning of work by relief pitcher Connor Nelson, who retires the Bruins in order as we head to the bottom of the 9th inning. Valley City trailing by 4 runs. Bruins trying to close the door, leading by a score of 5-1. Finishing that last text, always enjoying the report on the internet broadcast. So everybody that still has snow on the ground, you can keep it. We don't want it. Oh, now here, no snow here from Bakersfield, California. We've got a nice, what a lovely backyard garden you have there. We got flowers blooming, and we just have seen the first little tulips and daffodils starting to poke their leaves out of the ground here as we've had temperatures in the 50s for most of the last week or two. Still no leaves have come through. A few of the trees are starting to bud, so that's our horticultural report of the day from all across the country.
Townsend playing second.
C.J. Townsend enters the game for the Bruins. He'll be playing second base in the spot for Drew Staley.
That's still Linden, right? Or is it?
Yeah.
Okay. Looked a little like Takumi for a minute, but
That's still Richardson behind the plate, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, 13.
I've lost my mind. Don't listen to me.
If we find it, we'll kick it to the side, so you'll pick it up later. Here we go to the bottom of the 9th inning. Center fielder Dustin Mertz will lead off the last frame as Teron Williams goes back to work. Working from the stretch exclusively on the third base side of the rubber. First pitch, swing and a miss. Strike one. Nice lateral movement on that breaking ball from Williams. So if we get one more strikeout, we'll set a new season high for strikeouts as a staff, correct? Lays off that pitch. Similar movement, this time started a little further outside.
We already have, so technically we will again.
Okay. Mertz 0 for 3, all of them fly balls. Is he going to call that a strike or not? Put the right hand up a little bit. We are not quite sure. Started to put, there we go. 2-1 now the count on Mertz. Has toured the outfield, fly ball outs to both left, or not both, to left, center, and right. Down low, 3-1. Williams trying to keep the leading lady off bases here in the bottom of the ninth inning, working with the 4-run lead. But that pitch sweeps wide, so Dustin Mertz becomes the leadoff runner with the walk.
Not generally what you want.
Now up.
Next up, right fielder Jay Gruel. Down by 4 runs, Valley City will have to play it conservatively. They're going to have to hit their way back into this one. Only 2 hits on the game, both of them coming in the second inning when they scored their 1 run. Sirois playing behind the base runner at first, covering territory. Just off the outside edge, ball 1. On the knees for a called strike. 1-1 to count on Gruel. Gruel had the first hit of the game for Valley City back in that second inning. He has a 1-for-3 day thus far. Little flare out to center field. That's going to drop. Just right off the edge of the bat. Kanda Kobayashi comes in to play it on a couple of hots. So 2 guys on base for the Vikings. The tying run in the on-deck circle. Timeout on the field as we're going to have a pinch runner coming in. That is number 14. Jet Selanik comes on to run for Gruel. We saw Selanik, in yesterday's doubleheader as well. I write his name in my book. The home plate umpire writes his name in his book, and we're ready to go. Christian Ramirez will be at the plate. Christian, 2 strikeouts and a walk in his 3 plate appearances today. We got you.
Yeah, those are the subs we don't need to be told about.
Still trailing by 4, but with 2 base runners on and nobody out. Valley City State, this is their biggest threat since the second inning. They have not sent more than 4 batters to the plate in any of the innings since the second. Foul out of play by Ramirez. And somebody just got tossed out of the game on the Valley City bench. Don't know what was said, but the base umpire, I don't know if they're arguing about coming set on a balk or whatever, but Casey Olney over there talking with the base umpire. I don't think it was Casey, but I think it was one of the guys on the bench. And now the home plate umpire is getting involved in the conversation as well. What a very dramatic heave-ho from the base umpire to somebody. Don't see anybody leaving the dugout as of yet, but conversation continues. And again, there's about 25 or 30 guys crowded into that dugout over there. Who was saying what? That's going to be hard to figure out.
Throw some music on.
And the conversation, the animated conversation, continues down the third base line between Coach Olney and the 2-man umpiring crew. I don't know if they're asking who said what, but several of the Viking players with their hands up down the line. And now Coach Olney's going to grab a bunch of the players to have a conversation, and so somebody, one of the players, has put up his hand, and I guess he's the one who's going to volunteer to leave. Like I said, there's about 24 guys down there. The players obviously in uniform, but just about everybody else wearing a black or maroon sweatshirt or jacket or whatever. So not knowing exactly who to toss, somebody gets tossed. Good luck figuring that out, Bill.
How can you eject someone when you can't tell who it is?
I don't know. Anyway, back to the ball game. No balls, 1 strike to count. On the batter, Christian Ramirez. Breaking ball in the zone, strike 2. Kind of a strange little interlude there. Hopefully it won't throw Teron Williams off his concentration in this bottom of the 9th inning. A swing and a miss. Runner at first, so he can't advance. The throw to third is out. Nice job by Trad Richardson behind the plate. The ball got away from him, but right under his feet. And just Dustin Mertz trying to advance will be thrown out from Richardson to Grade for the 2nd out of the inning. So last chance hotel for the Vikings. The catcher, Caden Rosdeba, trying to keep things alive. So an unusual strike him out, throw him out after that long delay after the ejection. Rosdeba gets into one. It's deep to left field, and it is gone. A 2-run home run for catcher Caden Rosdeba makes it a 5-3 game. So how big is that throw out at third base? That takes 1 run away from the Vikings in their attempt to get back into this one. Caden Rosdeba with the home run to left field. For Rosdeba, that's his first home run of the year. He picked up an RBI earlier, so now Rosdeba has all 3 of the RBIs today, 4 on the season. Third baseman Torrey Nelson, the scheduled hitter, but it looks like we'll have a pinch hitter. Number 22 for the Vikings is Judson Seliskar. He will pinch here. First pitch swinging, comes over the top of a changeup. Judson Seliskar, left-handed batter against the right-handed pitcher. Opposite field, down the left field line. That one is going to go out of play. So 0-2 the count on Seliskar. Seliskar hitting 154 on the year, trying to keep the game going for the Vikings. Teron Williams trying to nail it down here for Bellevue. Down low, ball 1. Bellevue on a 12-game winning streak, hoping to make it 13 with 1 more pitch. The 1-2. Ooh, just inside. 2-2 the call. Richardson shaking his head to the Bellevue dugout. I'm sure somebody asked if that was a good pitch. It was a good pitch, but a ball call. Here's the 2-2. Chopper on the ground. C.J. Townsend, the second baseman, over. Across to Mathieu Sirois on first. The out is recorded, and the game comes to an end for the Valley City Vikings in the bottom of the 9th inning. 2 runs on 2 hits. There were no errors and nobody left on base. Bellevue wins the ball game by a score of 5-3. The Bruins now 20-4 overall, 7-0 in conference. The number 9 rated team in the NAIA. For the Valley City State Vikings, they dropped to 5-18 overall, 1-6 in conference play. Easton Britton picks up the victory for the Bruins. For Bellevue, 5 runs on 9 hits, no errors. Their 10 or more hit streak comes to an end, but they pick up the win, which is the most important thing. For Valley City, 3 runs on 3 hits, and they committed no errors. So a sparkling game defensively, no errors on either side. That one is in the books. We will be back on the air in about 30 minutes or so, 25 or 30 minutes, close to 8 o'clock Central Time with game number 2. We hope you come on back and join us for that one. For Bill Mullins, next to me here, Alec Ackerman, our guest during the game. I'm Mick Krupski, signing off for now. We'll be back with more baseball right here on the Bellevue Bruins Sports Network.